When one person has more power over the other person, it is not consent. The other person feels powerless to say no, or like something bad is going to happen when they say no, or the person who has more power is going to think less of them because they said no. So while the word yes may come out of their mouths, it's not real because the balance of power is not equal.
Welcome to the world of energy, where science meets spirit. Ancient wisdom merges with cutting-edge knowledge, and the possibilities for a healthier, happier you are endless.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Energy Works. This is Blaine. I am soloed today. And I have a topic that feels a little weird for me to talk about, but it's something that I'm feeling very present right now. And I debated whether I wanted to do a podcast about it, but I decided to because I think that while I may not be sharing things that you've never heard before, I think it's good to bring them back into the current consciousness and maybe a few little gems of information here that you might want to think about or carry with you or reflect upon. So this is a story about the abuse of power in the spiritual world. And most of you probably know, I guess abuse of power is a tale as old as time. It is not just in the spiritual world or the corporate world or the athletic world or the religious world or any other world. I think that abuse of power has been happening as long as there has been humans and there has been power. So what happened recently is that I found out that a teacher of mine has been a sexual predator. I'll say it that way. And in the yoga world, there have been many male yoga teachers who have been sexual predators, and many of them have been arrested, deported, or at a minimum, lost their communities and lost the respect of people in the spiritual community because of their behavior. Actually, Lauren and I, when we are invited to summits, we ask about who the other teachers of the summits are, or retreats, or any sort of group activity where we are a teacher among many other teachers. We want to know who is on the stage with us, or who is on a pedestal with us as a teacher to others. And we want to make sure that no name that we recognize as someone who has abused power, and I don't mean just sexually, is on the pedestal, on the platform, in front of the microphone, and being put in a position of power in that way, shoulder to shoulder with us. And we've actually had people removed when the organizers of the event didn't know about that history of an individual who was in the event. We've had them removed, and we refuse to participate sometimes. And to be clear, what I mean by it's not all sexual. It is often sexual, especially when we're talking about masculine, male spiritual leaders. But another way it happens, and I know this firsthand with women spiritual leaders, is in compensation. There's this work for me for free sort of thing. I'm leading some kind of event. I've never done this, but someone will say, and invite someone else to work for them or be their teaching assistant or provide labor for free because in exchange, what you get is access. Work for me for free and you get access to me and all of my teachings and all of the things that you seem to want to know as a student. That's an abuse of power. No one should work for free for any reason. People should be compensated money so they can pay for their rent for their labor, not in access to knowledge. That is not an exchange for work. So many ways that power can be abused. So and those of you who have been students of mine for a long time, this may come as a surprise to you. I have gone to India to study. That part's not a surprise. And there's a place I like to go. There's a teacher I like to work with. I have invested a lot of time and money to learn from this teacher. And I'm not going to say names or anything in this podcast. It is a male teacher. And it's been a really important and close to my heart part of my spiritual journey. And the teachings are not in question here. The teachings are thousands of years old. I trace them back. I can read about them way beyond the mouth of this particular person. But this person taught me a lot of yoga tradition, thousands of year old yoga tradition that I have brought into my own life and also passed down to my own students. So a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, there was a rumbling about an inappropriate relationship, I guess I'll say, between one of the students and this teacher. And it was really disturbing, but it was also a little bit muddled, maybe because it was just one. And so this particular teacher has a team of enablers around him for sure. So his team jumped in. The message got muddy. It was hard to tell, was it he said, she said, or some kind of misunderstanding or some kind of hurt feelings or something. It just wasn't crystal clear what was going on. But my radar definitely went up because people who are 100% innocent of doing things never get accused of anything, right? You don't just get accused out of the blue if you're a 100% clean with strong boundaries person. And so I had to pay attention, and I was upset about it a few years ago, but it kind of went away, and I didn't think of it much again until recently. There's a lot more women. They are making statements, and it is abundantly clear that there's been a pattern of abusive power going on there for at least 10 years. And the community is devastated. And outside of my deep feelings for the victims and what they have had to go through, I also have really deep in my heart distress in the community. And there have been so many students like me who have gone to India many times and studied with this teacher. The first time I went in 2018, and it was with my friend Molly. She and I both knew we wanted to go take a 300-hour yoga teacher training. We knew we wanted it to be in India. We wanted to go to the birthplace of yoga is Rishikesh, India. It's where yoga is from. We knew we wanted to go to Rishikesh in the foothills of the Himalayas and learn from a spiritual master. And we went there, and it was a profound experience. It truly was. It was a life-changing experience. We came back, and the way things went, I shortly after that met Lauren Walker. I actually think I met Lauren Walker before I went to India, but just like 6 months before or something. So I had met Lauren, studied with her a little bit, And then when I finished that whole experience in India, I decided to pursue more education with Lauren and energy medicine yoga. And my friend Molly decided to pursue more education from this same teacher in India. And so we're very close friends to this day. Many of you listening to this know both of us. And so my path went, it was like a fork. My path went one way, Molly's path went another way. And so while I didn't disconnect from the teacher or the group in India, my attention went to Lauren and Eden Energy Medicine, my attention, my money, my resources, everything. And so I kind of drifted further and further away from that group, where my friend Molly has not only been without me to India to study there several times now. Also, it's really a big root of her teachings, and many of her students have gone there because of her. And there are probably people who've gone there because of me too, to be honest. And so there's all of these people I know and people I don't know. This is a global community, are devastated. And that is what is keeping me up at night. These last few nights is how betrayed, and I'm not talking about the victims. I mean, of course, they are devastated. I just mean the people who were not victims, the people who were in the community, the people who were students, the people who had beautiful experiences and their lives changed because of their experience. It's a wonderful, beautiful place. What we call the Ganges River, they call it the Ganga in India. It's right on the Ganga. It's just a life-changing thing to do. And people are very connected into the community there. Just like here at Energy Medicine Yoga, people are so connected with Lauren and me and each other and all of the teachers we have, both on our Energy Medicine Yoga Stars platform, but also the Energy Medicine Yoga teachers in individual communities. And they're lost. Their community is fractured. It is so painful. And all I can think to myself is, I never want to be the cause of suffering like this. As a teacher, I just can't. I just can't. And I'm human, right? It feels so strong for me that I never, ever want to cause people suffering like this in the way that suffering is happening. So my energy is very affected right now. And at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about, really, this is an energy podcast. What's happening to the energy when situations like this evolve, come forth, invade our lives, however we want to say it. I also want to share that, how do I say this? This is a weird bridge. I could write my own Me Too book. I came from the corporate environment where the abuse of, it's like the mix of capitalism and the patriarchy is so toxic. And I was a very young girl from Oklahoma when I entered the corporate world. And I've had so many experiences there. Like I said, I could literally write my own Me Too book. And what happens is when we have a power dynamic, when one person has more power than somebody else, sex is never consensual. I just want to make sure this is a clear point, because this person in India, like they all do, is saying it was consensual. It was consensual. That is a joke. That is impossible. When one person has more power over the other person, it is not consent. The other person feels powerless to say no, or like something bad is going to happen when they say no, or the person who has more power is going to think less of them because they said no. So while the word yes may come out of their mouth, it's not real because the balance of power is not equal. I will never forget. I feel like I need to give some kind of trigger warning or something here, but I have had sex with people who had men who had more power than me in the workplace more than once. And I'll never forget this one particular case. It haunts me to this day. I can remember it like I was there right now, even though this was a long time ago. After work, a bunch of us had gone to dinner, then gone to the bar, and everybody kind of left. And it was me, and it wasn't even just my boss. It was someone like above my boss, more senior than my boss. And he proceeded to tell me how great I was at my job, how I had this wonderful career in front of me, how he would make sure that I was promoted to manager and I would get a raise, and just showering praise and compliments on me, and how he would take care of me and get me promoted and help me make more money. And then he said, Blaine, I'm really attracted to you. Do you feel that way about me? And even though my body was screaming no, I said yes. I did not feel like I had the power to say no. I felt like everything he just said would be ripped away from me, and I could be fired. At the minimum, I'd probably be removed from the project, and then who knows what would happen. The only answer that felt possible was yes. That was not, he would say with the things that happened later, right? That this was consent. It was in the words that I said, but it was not because I had no choice. So we see these dynamics all over the place. And that's why this whole, it was consensual. It was consensual, never holds water. If you hold power over someone else, it's not consent. It's not real consent. Whether it's your boss or the CEO or a priest or a spiritual leader or a teacher or anything like that. That is why it is the job of the teacher to never do that, ever. It's the job of the teacher. It's in our code of ethics in energy medicine yoga. Anybody who comes through training with us at Energy Medicine Yoga has a code of ethics where they say they will never have a relationship with one of their students. It's just basic ethics. So, all right. I will move myself from that topic, but I wanted to spell it out in case some of you thought that maybe like consensual meant consensual. It doesn't. The word guru, Guru, what it means is dispeller of darkness. In Sanskrit, Gu, means, hold on, I gotta look, means darkness. I couldn't remember if it was dispeller or darkness. Gu means darkness. Ru means dispeller. The guru shines light where you don't have light, or pulls away the darkness so you can see the light. This is any teacher. When you are, I don't know, when do you learn to read? I don't live in this world. We'll say you learn to read in kindergarten. When you are in kindergarten and you look at letters and words and it's all gobbledygook, you don't know what that is. You haven't learned it. It's all just mess. And then you have a teacher who teaches you your letters and teaches you how to read. And then you can read. That teacher is a guru. They have removed the darkness away from the magic of words. And now you understand them. Your teachers through schools were gurus. When you go to yoga, when you have any sort of, we're all adult learners, I think. I think almost everybody in this energy medicine yoga community is an adult learner, or else you probably wouldn't be with us. Lifelong learners. When you learn from somebody else and they teach you something you did not know, you were in the dark, they shone light, now you know and understand it. That's all it is. And what all of us need to understand, if we don't already, is that ultimately we are our own guru. Not that we don't need a teacher who is farther down the path on something than we are, and so they can teach us things. But when it comes to your sovereignty, your decision making, your power, what you need to know is already inside of you. It doesn't come from outside of you. There's no one from outside of you who can make decisions for you that you can't make for yourself. So leaning into that ultimately you are your own guru, and what you need to know is already inside of you, and you don't need to find people outside to give you answers. You ultimately can come to all of them on your own, is really a powerful part of this path. Yes, teachers can give you advice. Teachers can share knowledge that you've never known before, or that you're seeking to know, or share something with a different perspective. Our friends can do that. Our family can do that. But your ultimate source of truth, and your ultimate source of right and wrong, and your ultimate source of what's right for you is always inside you, not from the outside. So what happens energetically? And I'm watching it and feeling it happen inside this community and to myself. So first of all, we have our biofield. We have our energetic field, our aura that is around us. And when we are safe and open and balanced, we have this aura. It's different for different people. It can be 6 feet. It's kind of egg-shaped, 6 feet around you. If it's bigger, maybe 7 feet. Your aura can be too big. When I'm a yoga teacher in front of a room, my aura gets really, really big because I am holding space for a lot of people in the room. That's not a healthy aura. It's there for a little bit. Then it's my job when I'm done teaching to pull my aura back in and have it be my energetic spacesuit. That's another thing we call it. My safe, energetic spacesuit, where good energy comes in, bad energy has to stay out. That's my good energetic spacesuit. Our aura can also collapse. And when we are feeling hurt, when we are feeling betrayed, when we have been kicked out of our tribe, our aura can collapse. And when we're in this collapsed aura, our energy is very stagnant. It is stuck. It is not balanced. It is not flowing. And so when this happens in communities and we feel violated, our biofield, our aura starts to collapse on itself and we start to feel small. We also can get sick. A lot of imbalance from our biofield physically makes us sick in our body. So the aura collapses, our heart energy also withdraws. And instead of having this balanced heart energy where I'm putting energy like energy of love and community and sharing and kindness and generosity, when I am giving that and receiving it and giving it and receiving it in this very balanced way, my heart goes into protector. The heart protector, the triple warmer, goes into protection mode and it contracts and gets very small. And I start to have this heart protection. So my biofield is collapsing. My heart energy is collapsing. And then we have the chakras. Our root chakra is our safety, our security, our family, our container. It's the root chakra. And so the root chakra starts to become very imbalanced and compromised because we don't feel safe and secure in the community anymore. And then our sacral chakra, which is right above the root. The root is down at the tailbone. The sacral chakra is up from that. It's in like the womb space. It's the sexual energy chakra. And when there has been sexual crime and sexual imbalance in our community, it throws off our sacral chakra. We become sexually imbalanced and off kilter when we know there has been sexual crimes in our community. And so our lower chakras, our root and our sacral, become imbalanced and compromised. So our aura is collapsing, aura, biofield, I'm using those interchangeably. Our heart energy is collapsing, and our root chakra and our sacral chakra are, I guess I can say collapsing again, but becoming unstable and compromised. And it makes us feel really off kilter because we are destabilized in our community in what we thought was our safe place. And then in the community, there becomes this fracture because the perpetrator almost always has a team of enablers. And often the team of enablers are the core team who is holding the organization together. And so all of a sudden the core team cannot be trusted. And they have circled around the team leader and are advising the team leader what to do or say and protecting them. So that happens. And then there are the victims, and they are fractured off. And then there's the supporters of the perpetrator who are just in the community. And then there are those who believe the women in this case, or believe the victims if it's a different type of violation, and need to leave the community, a community they love and trust and have been invested in both emotionally and probably financially for a long time. And so they're like the exiled. And all of these things are happening, and it's incredibly destabilizing for everyone involved. I don't have a happy ending for you here because this really has all just come out in the last couple of weeks, this latest news. And so I just want to share with you where I am. I want to share with you when these things happen, what is happening, and for your own reflection, for your own protection, and for your own, I guess, sovereignty and understanding how this all happens so you can take care of yourself and make sure that it doesn't happen to you. I hope this has been helpful. I know it's been a different type of podcast, but I don't think this is the last time something like this is ever going to happen. So I also wanted to get some of this off my chest. I'd love you to connect with me if you have an experience to share or you have anything to say about what I said. And I'll see you next time on Energy Works. Alrighty, Energy fans, that's a wrap on another positively charged episode of Energy Works. Lauren, this is the part where we get to use our energy puns.
It's been electrifying, hasn't it, Blaine? We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
If you're feeling amped up and you want to keep your energy flowing, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform.
And we'd love to hear from you, so please take a moment to leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to deliver content that resonates, so light up our inbox.
And spark a conversation with your friends to tell them about us. And we'll see you next time on Energy Works.